We have audio. Oh, well, hello and welcome to this work stream where I'll be showing. Well, I need to work on this either way, so why not show it? You see the girl is usually in most of the thumbnails that where we don't really know what to put in, so we just. So yep, this is the model, and I need to add it to the to Unreal, which, I mean, it's partly done, but it's not exactly quite there. Let me find it. Yeah, so here it is, like the version that I rigged like super fast, and if I try to deform it for whatever reason, you will see that it won't behave like it should. That's why it's called Calypso Simple. Also, I think that some of the rotations here are wrong, but it was done super quick. Not quick enough, but the thing is, there were a lot of problems when we tried to add more animations, right? Hello, audio check, coffee, though. Oh, I do really need to check the audio, just in case. Let me check it. Oh, Friday and Unreal also is streaming? I thought they streamed Thursday. Ah, okay. What can you do? Do I have audio? Yep, I do have audio. Perfect. So, the thing was, the rig needed to be redone. Asking about coffee. Yeah, one coffee should be just right now. So for the rigging, I found this useful tool called UEfy, and I should have it right here, which lets you rig it in Blender, lets you use the Rigify, and, well, translate it to Unreal. And also, this Unreal Fest talk called building modular characters really help find a nice process, so we don't need to retarget every time we need to test animations, right? We can just import them with the Unreal Mannequin skeleton, and then I should have like the first test with it here, right? And I should have all the animations available. Yeah. And yeah, you can still see that some skinning parts are broken, but I mean, it's a work in progress, and this one was just testing around. But the thing that we wanted, well, the thing that I wanted to get at is that by sharing the skeleton of the mannequin, which maybe 99%, no, maybe less, 95% of the animations in the marketplace are using this type of skeleton, we can easily replace it with our own mannequin, with our own mesh, which that one is a little bit broken, but at least I tested that with the plugin, the UEfy plugin, it can be done. And it's just a matter of trying to trying to make it a little bit more modular, because I don't really need the code to be part of the model. The code should have its own bones, its own deformations, so I don't get results like the ones like this one. It's like, what is this, right? And trying to skin this, I mean, it can be done, but it will be a really painful experience. And also I wouldn't get the deformation I may be looking for. So the models aren't built using Blender. Okay, so the model is here in Blender, but the person who made it, I believe he did it in 3ds Max. And then from there I exported to Blender, and from Blender I'm putting it in Unreal Engine 5. So what's the goal, at least for this session, is bringing it as a modular character, even though this character won't change. Maybe the hair eventually, but or the cloak, but I don't think it will change that much during the game. So we can have something like this, and I was doing a lot of tests. Where is the blueprint? Did I have a blueprint here? I'll just search it here. Right, so this one is one of the latest tests that I did. I'll just put simulate. And you can see some deformation because now the code is another skeleton, and I can add some physics to it. So I mean, they're not perfect, but at least they are there. And I do need to polish this rigging part, but I do need to fix some things about how I divided this character, because right now I believe all the body is one asset. Yeah, this body is following the Unreal mannequin, the skeleton, and I really don't need my face in this. Actually, here it is. So I really don't need to use the actual Unreal skeleton for all the body, because if I wanted to add some jiggle physics, then that would break the skeleton, because the skeleton doesn't have chest bones. So I need to separate this model like in parts. That's why it's a modular character. One part will be the hair, because we later on we may change the hair to maybe an alembic file, so we can get some nice deformation there. In the worst case scenario, I would need to build a rig for the hair where I need to just add some bones to the most important hair strands, like here, so we can get some nice physics there. The other part will be the head. The head. Then will be the upper body, so I can add some chest bones. And the other part will be the lower body. And well, the code is also another part of this character. So that's what I'm planning to do now. And yeah, let's get to it. I really don't need that, all this stuff here. And I also don't need the game mode, so I'll just put the basic game mode. Right, so nothing pops up. Perfect. Okay, so I'll go back to Blender, and here in Blender, so this is the actual rig with everything in it, and I have the mannequin here just to check that the poses are the same. I will hide it because I don't need it right now. And this is a rig that has all the parts in it. So if I go to pose mode and I move it around, you will see like all the parts moving around. Oh, and here I have some armature from the character and the meta rig, and I don't need this, and now we can see it. Right, so at least I know this rig works. It's not behaving like perfectly, but I mean, it was expected because what would you do with this cape, right? How would it deformate? Like, should it follow only the body? Should it follow part? Like, I just do an auto skinning weights on it, and I call it a day. So for that, to avoid this type of issues, I separated them, all the parts that I just explained. So I have here the code, and I created a simple rig. I have the torso, and I would need to add the chest bones here. I have the legs, the head, which I also added a little face rig, so maybe later on we can animate the face if I manage to find time to do some blend shapes. Then we could even rig it up and hook it to the face lifelink. The hair, which I won't rig, it's a lot of stuff there, so I won't rig it. I will hope so. I will hope that part will be solved by an Alembic file. And well, this mannequin that will help me pose the character, right? So for each one of these pieces, I need to generate the same rig as this one. Like this part is the rig. Why? Because the bones need to match. If the bones match, then I can go to the editor. I can open, where is my blueprint? And do stuff like this. Set leader pose component. If the bones match, then look, I'll just remove this connection, or I can just right click and disable the node, and let's see what happens. Now you see the parts that are added, which was the head and the hair, and are not following around the body, right? And the code is using a animation blueprint. So if I just put this to none, it's also not following it around. So we need to have the same bone names and the same structure so they can match, and it can work correctly, and it will seem as it's just one character, but in reality there are multiple parts. So that's what I need to do right now. I need to, instead of just dividing it like this, I need to actually have an upper body and a lower body, and I will start with the lower body because should be the simplest, and it's the one that will follow the actual skeleton. Why am I saying that? Because if you start adding more bones, then you can't really use the actual Unreal skeleton, the Unreal 4 skeleton, because it's changed. You have added bones. So here I will need to add bones, but for the legs, I don't. I mean, I could if I wanted to have some fancy rigging for this metallic stuff, but I mean, the cape would probably just hide it. So you won't be able to see it. Now, this should be... Oh, I think I already rigged it. Oh, let me see if it's working. Oh yeah, yeah, it's already rigged. When did I did this? I mean, the deformation, it will be as good as any, and it will be the job of our VFX artist to polish anything here, so I'm counting on him. Teaching rigging until our programmer learns or dies. Yeah. So this is already done, so I don't need to do anything here. The torso is not done. The head is done. I believe it is. Yeah, well, the head is moving around correctly. Did I fix the weights here? Does this work? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it works. Okay, so I underestimated my past self. So the head is working. Let's check the hair. Okay, the hair doesn't have the actual skeleton. So I'll show with the hair. I'm not showing it with the torso because with the torso I will add some bones. So I'll just show it here with the hair. Should be pretty straightforward. So the first step was to create the skeleton, because this plugin is used for characters that are already skinned, already has their skeleton, are already rigged, but you want to just put the rigified rig on them. But in my case, I only have the meshes, so I would need to create the rig, which is this one, which was added simply by Shift A, armature, and this UEfy script has a reference skeleton. So I just choose basic posing skeleton, which gives you this skeleton, which is the one that I just move around and rotate it to fit the body. And here you're seeing the hair, but the body is this one, right? So I fit it with this body. And then I just copy and paste the skeleton, and then with the hair, so it's separated, right? And I will delete this. Okay. So once that's done, and all the steps for doing that are here in this nifty video the creator of the plugin did. Here you can see all the steps. There are some updates, but basically you import the character, import the Unreal mannequin, update some names. In my case, their names were already fine because I'm using the basic posing skeleton. Update some roll rotations, pose the character, and here I need to pose the character. So I do need this mannequin. and I will select the skeleton, and here I refresh the list. I need to select the character, which is my character head, no, hair. It should be around here. Character hair. This root is already auto selected, and I should not have done that. Just in case I just click something terrible, I'll open the same file. No, don't save it. Okay. So again, I have this selected. I'll go back here and select my hair. So I need to pose this to the actual mannequin pose. So you have here pose character. You click on it, and there it is. The character is posed. Now I do need to fix these bones because they're not really matching, and you would be able to tell if I was doing the legs, because in the legs I do have some mesh there that can tell me that, oh, that's wrong. So you will just need to trust me that here you just fix the legs. Oh, and of course my pose reset it. Let me go back. And I go back to match. So why did my pose reset is because I forgot this skeleton has some animations, some deform animations, which I added so we can test skinning, right? But I don't need those, at least not right now. So I will just delete them. I'll go to pose mode, select everything with A, and just drag and select all the keys, and the delete key will be my friend. Okay, so again, you select the character, make sure that this again is the character here, and let's pose the character. Alright, so now with no animation, my pose won't be reset. Perfect. Now, like I said, I do need to fix the actual rotation of this bone, and I have my little cheat sheet here where the actual location, I will select all the bones, C. Oh, I'll press G for movement, C for only movement in the Z axis or Z, wherever you're from, and this will be minus 0.01. After that, I had the rotation with R, but only in the X, and it was minus 6. Also rotation in Y, it was 7, and this is just making it so it fits better. And also rotation in C, 2. Okay, so that's pretty much the fix in the legs that I needed to do for the pose. Now, what do I need to do here is pose the character. Here you check the fingers, but in my case the fingers went without problems. And there we update the rest pose. What is the rest pose? If we go to edit, you will see that the pose is not correct. It's not the same as this one. So I'll go to object mode, select my, I believe you select the mesh, and here you update the rest pose. Now when you go to edit, the pose should be exactly the same. Oh, and I can hide the mannequin now. Now the object mode, what do I need to do is add the meta rig. To add the meta rig, Shift A. Here it will be the human meta rig, and I'm not liking that position, so I'll delete it and put my cursor to the word origin. Now I'll add it again with Shift A. Armature human meta rig, I'll scale it to 100, and after that with S I'll try to match the shoulders. With that, here is when I should refresh the list, and here I'll choose the meta rig, the new meta rig, and I'll move this meta rig to the collection actually here. Right, so here's the meta rig. I need to fix it, I believe. First, update, add the meta rig. Yeah, I need to get rid of some bones that I don't need, like the face bones, because this one is only for the hair. The hair doesn't need the chest bones or doesn't need the face bones. So for that, I'll just, with my meta rig selected, fix meta rig and make sure to click on remove face. Here, spine, 4 spine, 1 neck, and 1 head. UE4, it's the one that I want, so fix it. I need to apply the scale because this scale can't be different than 1, so I believe it was Shift A? No, Control A? Okay, apply all. Bloop. Scale 1, fix meta rig. Now I only have the bones that I need. And with this, I can pose it, and it will match my position except for these 2 bones and the spine. The bones, again, if I had the mesh here, it would be very simple to do, but because I don't, I saved the actual position and rotation, etc. So I'll go to edit here. This one is in X, it's translation with G, press X and 0.09. And nothing happened, perfect. With G, X, or let's start with Y. G, Y, and in Y it was 0.08, and in X it was 0.09. Then right click, symmetrize, and the other bone should match. Now to fix the spine, and every step I'm doing here is detailed in this in the video made by the creator, by the way, but I wanted to show it either way, just to have all the process right. So I need to select both skeletons if I can. Okay, both skeleton, the meta rig, I selected it as the last object. Oh, hello everyone. And I'll read some comments. Hey man, love your channel, it really helps to learn Unreal. We are glad that you think so. And our only promise is that we will keep getting better at it. Because the first videos were really rough. Most of what I learned about Unreal, I learned here. Love the channel, bro. Thank you very much. Thanks for everyone for the kind words. So I return to this. Here, I just need to make the skeleton, the spine match. So I'll go to the edit mode, And just to get rid of stuff that I don't need, well, not get rid of, but at least hide, so you select this and press H and it's hidden. H here again. And then it's a matter of matching this spine. And you can know that it's the correct spine because here the name is correctly named. The meta rig is called spine.003 and it's called meta rig. So I'll press L to select all the bones there. Oh, and also with this selected, I put it in front so I can see it behind the mesh. And I'll press L here again. Now it's a matter of matching this. Whoop, whoop. Now, the navigation in Blender always confuses me. Okay, so I'll just match this. Doesn't need to be a perfect match. And here, G, and I'll match it also. Here I'll select these bones and match them. Select these ones and match them. Finally, and you can see it's not a perfect match. It doesn't really need to be a perfect match. This one, this is the oh yeah, meta rig spine. Okay, it was the correct one. I thought I grabbed the wrong one. Yeah, that's decent enough. Wait a minute. That's good enough. Okay, so with the spine matching, I'll just press Alt H, so everything, the visibility returns with everything. Object mode, and I forgot what I need to do next. Oh, generate the rig. So meta rig, and we generate the rig. Okay, so we generate the rig. Simple as that. So with the meta rig here and in object mode, I'll go to generate rig, because this is a meta rig, a type of rig that comes with Blender, super useful. Generate rig, whoop, and this gives me these controls. Now, these controls are not compatible with Unreal just yet. So with this created, I'm going to select my mesh, which is actually skinned or binded to the character hair skeleton. And here, I have an extract mesh tool that also comes with the plugin. So extract mesh, select my hair, select the rig, and Control P, armature deform. I do not want to create new groups, empty groups, or automatic waves because it's already skinned. Armature deform, and now with my rig here, I can go to build skeleton. And this is the step that will make it compatible with Unreal Engine. So I'll build it. Rig is not set in the UEfy panel. Oop, I didn't set the rig, that's true. Here, I'll just refresh the list and I'll choose the rig. Now let's build it. It will take a minute. Well, a little less. And now we are in pose mode and we have this compatible rig. That you will see that for the hair, like it wasn't that much, but it is following it. So that's how the rig is created. And let's pose, clear all the poses. Go back to the object mode. Like with this, we can create. Let's go to the. I'll read some questions now. With this, we can create animations that we can then export. We can use this and export it to Unreal. it won't be able to use the skeleton asset that already exists because some rotations are different. But we could retarget the animations to this type of skeleton, right? So here I have the legs and the torso and everything. I mean, you can do it. We don't want to do it like that because every time we retarget an animation, it's like, oh, we have the base animation and we also have the retarget one. So it's a double type of cost. And because we are using source control, I mean, the space gets filled like very easily. And we're not that big of a team, so we do try to keep in mind all the space that we are using. So we don't need to pay more, right? Our basic income comes from the cars that we sell. That probably you have already seen the banner, but if you haven't, here it is. We have created an action game course in Unreal. It's in early access. The price is gonna go up soon, so right now it will be the cheaper that it will be ever, just in case, because like I said, that's the main income for our endeavor, because the YouTube right now is not paying that much. The algorithm is really hating on us. So yeah, if you want us to support us and also learn a lot, that's the course for you. We go from the beginning. We even teach the interface on the viewport and some tips and tricks to navigate it easier, right? So it really is for any type of skill level. But we know it costs. We made it like that because we wanted to invest a lot of our time in it. And also we do have private streams and reviews of the projects you are doing. So yeah, it's a lot for a reason, but we understand that you may not have the possibility. So I mean, you can also support us by becoming a I believe it's a patron or subscriber, but in the YouTube you also get the courses, except that one, except the expensive one, but you get the other ones for free. Okay, so some questions, let's see. Hey man, love your channel. Oh, I read that. Hey, oh, have I missed half of it? No, Kiwi. I mean, a little bit, but I basically just show all the stuff that is in this tutorial made by the dude that created the UEfy plugin. So, oh, and I remember seeing one of your comments here. I don't remember. I was looking for something related to the chest bones, and I found your comment. It was pretty nice to see a familiar face in the comment section. Oh, and I read the retracted message, and we're Peruvian. I'm Peruvian. Well, now you can tell if I put the camera. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go back to the desktop. Oh, and everyone thinks that Mao is from Chile. We also think that, but he's not. But he confuses a lot of people. Okay, so just to continue the process, I will bring the legs to Unreal, and then I will do some heavy lifting here in Blender, because I do need to rig the code. I forgot I didn't save the previous try, and that could take a while. I will see if we'll rig it in this stream, or maybe, I mean, I do have a lot of other stuff to do, but I'll see how far do I get. Okay, so let's start with the legs, then we can go to the torso, and then with the head. And here I'll rename this head. Why is it 001? Ah, okay, I won't. Oh, I know why. This is the hair. Okay. Okay, so let's start importing this to Unreal. Now, like I said, we wanted to use the Unreal Engine mannequin, that same skeleton, so we can share the animations that come with animation packages. So to do that, this plugin has a nice button called Unreal Engine Mannequin Rules. It says caution, incompatible for UEfy, so once you do this, when you try to animate stuff here, stuff will break. So in order to have our base file that maybe later on we want to add some custom animations, then we just need to go here. Where is it? I'll just save another file, and I have Calypso, and this will be Calypso Unreal Engine rig. And I don't remember what do I have here, so just in case, I'll just name it like this. UEfy rig. And I will save it. Now we have another file. And now we can click on this button that can ruin your progress if you just click it for clicking it. Here, move twist, I do need to select the Unreal Engine 4 default, Unreal Mannequin Roles. And now, let's click on it. And that's it. Like, it seems like nothing happened, but actually now this armature is compatible with the actual skeleton. Now, let's import it. We just need to select the meshes, all the meshes involved. Which is these ones. No, I do not need those bones. I'll just check it. Yep, these are all the meshes. And then I need to select the rig, which is this one. Shift select it, and I'll import it. Well, export it. FBX. And here I have some tests. This one will be called, like, instead of Calypso body, Calypso could be legs, could be lower body. Lower body sounds better, so lower body. I only need the selected objects. In the transform, this is fine. In the include, this is fine. Geometry, I'll put face, just so I don't need to, I won't get a warning about some smoothing groups and some stuff like that if you put face here. Armature, I only need the deform bones, don't need the leaf bones, and the animation, I don't have any, so let's just put it like this. And let's export the FBX. Yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Okay, with the FBX exported, we can go back to our project. And I'll just create a folder with the actual meshes. New folder, meshes. And here, I'll import it. And where's Calypso lower body? Here it is. I'll open it. Now here, the skeleton, I do need to select my epic mannequin. Should be character mannequin meshes. Yeah, this is for the new mannequin. and this is mannequin and real 4 meshes. This is the one that I need. So let's use it. This will be the base skeleton. The materials, I don't need to import them because they're already created. Import. Oh, okay, so I have some warnings here. Fail to merge bones. So what happened here? Cancel. Okay, let me just import it without. Oh, of course it will crash it. Let me see if something is missing here. The memory, I'll just hide it. The bones. Sometimes when you have the same name, like for example, one of these clothes have the same name, which I don't think so. Sometimes the names are a little bit wrong. Well, the way that I'm going to see what's happening is I'm just going to import it with its own skeleton, and then I'll try to change it to the new one. Skip restore. Okay, Hawk says, that's my biggest hassle at the moment. I fit cloth into a body, but I don't get the cloth to bind to the skeleton with skin waste for importing to Unreal Engine. I'm so used to a skin wrap from 3ds, man. Oh, you get the incompatible? It's weird because when I was testing it, it didn't happen to me. When I'm streaming it, of course, the errors pop up. Is a law of streaming. So I'll just import Calypso lower body. I will let it generate its own skeleton. I'll just import everything, and I will see what's different, right? Okay, so this is different because my naming, this one is called armature legs. It's not called armature. I believe it's like considering it as a root. That's the only thing that I can think about right now. That should be the error, I believe. So let's just force delete everything. Because this one, I exported it and it worked. And I wouldn't understand why. So let's just rename this to armature. And now let's do the same thing. Yeah, sometimes naming is very, very important. This is all. No, this is not all. This is all, yes. And select the rig. Export. FBX. The settings should be saved for this session. And Calypso lower body. Export. Now let's try it again. Import. Calypso lower body. Open. Now I'll select again the skeleton. This is it, characters, and I'm reading the path here, so I know it's the correct one. So skeleton, yeah, this is the one. And I will import it. There it is. It was the name. It was the naming. Oh, what a pain in the butt if it's only the naming. Okay, so with that, and that explains one previous test that I did and it didn't work. So with that, this skeletal mesh, oh no, it is fine. I binded the weapon to that bone. Yeah, so I'll just remove it. So remove all attached assets. Okay, just so we're not confused. So with this skeletal mesh, I will put the materials. So here it was metal, or calypso metal, this one. This one was the leather. And this one was the 4, I believe. 4. And the pants was the clothes. Right, now we have the actual, oh man, the actual model. And we can try some animations, right? So in preview scene, preview animation blueprint, no. Can I test some animations? Okay, so this one, for example, let's say I want to test it with the lower body, and there it is. And it should deform correctly, I believe. I mean, as well as it can do it, because this one is like, does that happen also in the normal mannequin? Oh, it's with the ball. Yeah, okay, that's an extreme deformation that maybe I need to take in consideration. Guillermo will be in charge of fixing that. Don't worry about that. No, but it is fine. Maybe some bones didn't. Yeah, for some reason this one. Weird stuff. Ah, but everything else works correctly. Yeah, so now we have all this library of animations that we bought in the marketplace. I don't remember which pack is it, but Mao should know about it. Now we have it working with the actual mannequin, right? So I will be building little by little the blueprint. I do need to do it from scratch, because like I can't use this whole body, right? And the coat, well, I'll just leave it there. The hair, right? So the hair, I also need to update it. The head also. And the main mesh should be the legs, because those ones don't get really where is the lower body? Don't really get new bones. So that's why I'm using it as a base. You need your mesh, because this is a character blueprint. You really can't move this around. So you need your mesh to be the mesh that is following exactly the skeletal asset of the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin. In my case, it was the legs. If I had a character with multiple legs, then for sure it won't be the legs, but or maybe if I had some chain that is that I do need to rig with bones or extra stuff, then for sure that will be the base. Okay, so I do need to redo the head and the hair, but the process is pretty similar. So this is the time where you just put music and start working with it. I do need to rename this, because the next armature will be using that name, right? Okay, so like I said, the head and the hair will be the same. So And you can see that the head here has a lot of bones. So because of this node called set leader pose component, where I'm choosing the mesh, which is the lower body, as the leader pose, and this follow around, because the head will have new bones, this won't work. So I would need to do the approach of the code, which I can show it around. It's very similar. But the thing with the code is that the code, I rigged it like this. You can see the bones here. And it's those same bones that are here. These ones. And because of those bones, I couldn't reuse the Unreal Engine mannequin. But I created an animation blueprint, which is this one, where I'm getting the source mesh from this node, the copy pose from mesh. And here you select, use the attached parent, copy curves and copy custom attributes. And with this attached parent, because in the blueprint, I'm attaching the code to the mesh, which is my lower body, which has the correct skeleton. Because the bone names are the same and the structure is the same, then I can use this to... I really don't need the rigid body. The rigid body is just for the physics of these parts that you can see that they are moving around. So I could just connect it like this, and this will mean that in my blueprint it will follow the movement, but it won't have the cool physics that I added later, right? So doing that stuff, we can still get the same result. And if you add bones and physics like I did, then you can use this node called rigid body to add some forces. Now this is more detailed. That just was a quick overview, right? This is detailed in this Unreal Fest talk that I will link just in case somebody is interested. Hey, can you show me how can I export MetaHuman to Blender and add simply animation? I guess add simple animation, then export again to Unreal 5 without any problems, of course with MetaHuman skeleton. Oh no, MetaHuman is another kind of beast that I haven't touched it. I mean, if I was doing virtual production stuff, I'd already be a master in MetaHuman, because MetaHuman is used a lot for those kind of projects, and they have a lot more bones and they have a lot more stuff that you need to do. So no, I can't show you because I don't know how to work with MetaHuman. Sadly, but true. But I don't need it for the projects I'm doing, because in games like bring more than 5 metahumans in a scene, and it could be really resource intensive. Well, depending on what you do, right? You can remove the face rig if you're not using it, but still, I mean, for a main character, for sure, use a metahuman, but maybe all the NPCs, you would need to use a reduced version of that. But in the future, I mean, we will be able to use any type of number of metahumans, and it will be fine. I want to know how I can create a face animation with this character, or I can use another skeleton. Right, so for face animation, what we are doing here is using the Rigify asset from from Blender. If we're talking about Blender and talking about using free tools, right? Here I'll just remove the hair. With MetaRig, which is not MetaHumans, I don't know why they have similar names, but I'll just hide the legs and I'll hide the... Okay. So with MetaRig, when you create the MetaRig, you will find this face rig, which, I mean, I found a tutorial in YouTube how to do it, and I pretty much do it. You just need to search MetaRig face rig, and it's just a matter of placing the bones. You skin it automatically and then fix some issues that may have with the lips and with the eyes. And the result of that is this rig that has some face, controls. You can open and close the mouth, and you can close the eyes. And you can see I didn't skin correctly this part, but nobody will notice, so that's something that GA should take charge and fix it. You can move the eye. You can see that there are a lot of things to correct, right? But I didn't bother too much with the upper part because the hair you won't be able to see it. So that's why I didn't bother too much with that. So let's put the hair so it doesn't look as horrible. Nose. This should be able to track the eyes, the eye movement. So yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with this. With this, you can create the blend shapes necessary for the face link stuff that you can do in Unreal. And create blend shapes for, I believe it was 23 blend shapes. I remember I took a lot of time with that stuff, but yeah, you can create this, put it to Unreal. Well, create the blend shapes, it's a lot easier with blend shapes, but you can also export the bones and then modify the bones inside Unreal. Should be not too hard. Now for this, you do need to use the UEfy script, so you can put it back easily to Unreal, which is this one. I will link it. Here you can find the oh yeah, Kiwi also has a nice alternative. Yeah, you can also use that QuangFan old asset. Next question, can I export mannequin with Unreal Skeleton, do some animation with this mannequin export and then retarget for meta human character? Yeah, retargeting still works. I mean, whatever you do with the mannequin, you can retarget it now. Very faithfully with the new retargeting assets that this has. So now we'll do the torso, which it's already posed correct. Oh, that's pretty nice. Oh, but I can't do it here because this is the Unreal 4 export, so I'll just open the base file. Okay, so here it is, the torso. And for here, I do need to add the bones, the chest bones. So yeah, let's add the chest bones. Here, I always need to check the steps. It's already posted. We update the rest pose. I don't know if it's updated. It's not updated. I don't know if it's fixed. I believe it isn't. In why? It should be 7. In C it should be 2, and in X it should be minus. Why is it not working? -6. X. Did my... No, it's working correctly. -6. That's 6. Why can I type -6? Four. Now we have it. And everything C location 0.01. And it shouldn't be 0.01 because right now it's floating around. See, 0.01. Oh, it's minus. Yeah, then it should be minus 0.01, and it should be 0.2 because I added 0.1 like before. Okay, finally. Now with this, I do need to fix the rest pose, so I'll go to object mode, select this, and again, character torso, root, this is fine. I'll update the rest pose. And there we have it. From here, where is it? Add metric. Okay, so let's add the metric. Let's go back to the object mode. Armature, metric, and I won't create it there. I'll create it in the world origin, and I can hide the mannequin now. Okay, now human metric, scale it up, just put 100 and then scale it down, make the shoulder fit, and now apply, because right now my scale is wrong, and apply with Ctrl A. Apply. Now let's select our metric. If it's not here, refresh it. Metric. And let's fix it. So you were saying it's a UFO skeleton with face rig and the female has breastbones for the crab. I didn't. Oh, okay, no questions. For this, if I want to keep the breastbones, which should be here, then I would need to not remove the face and then remove the face manually. And hopefully that doesn't break the generation of the rig, so let's hope so. Here, remove face, I won't tick it. If I do remove the face, then for some reason these bones also get removed, so I can't do it. Fix it. And I guess it got rid of it either way. Okay, so we will need to create it. And I can Control C, right? Yeah, of course I cannot. Okay, so I do need those chest bones, so I'll just delete the meta rig and I'll create it again. Should be pretty simple. Okay, so in this case I'll remove the face because I don't really need it. I thought the breastbones will stay there, but they don't, so I'll just need to create them. And let me remember the name of the bones. Breast.L and breast.R. Okay. Yeah, so now let's fix the meta rig. I need to apply it. I always forget. Fix it. Pose it. Yeah, might as well pose it if we're already here. Pose the meta rig. And pose it. Go to the edit mode. Fix this one, which should be x 0.09 and y 0.08. Symmetrize it. Again, fix the column, the spine. This is the actual spine, this is the meta rig. Okay. And let's match it. There we go. Now I do need to add the actual bones for the breast. So I'll go into edit mode, and here I do need to add some bones and samples, I believe it was, and they were basic super copy. I'll add a sample and it's created here. I'll scale it a bit. Oh, and instead of scaling it, I'll just move one. Whoop, what did I do? I'll just move it upward so it grows and the scale is not really influenced. Yeah, but I'm going to scale it upward in the C axis. So C, now I got it. Okay, so this will be the breast bone, which, if I remember correctly, it was called breast L. And can I symmetrize it? Yeah, I can. Perfect. And breast R. Yeah, perfect. So I do need to position this correctly. I mean, as correctly as one can get, right? Now I should be able... Can I just rotate it a little bit? Okay. I'll just... Detail. I'll just match the numbers. Copy. Paste. Yeah, so now they're looking to the side that I want. So let's move it here. Yeah, here should be the actual location. I mean, it doesn't matter. This part of the bone really doesn't matter where it is. The base is the only part that should matter. If you wanted to get like a more accurate position for the breastbones, like you can also go to the object mode, select the mesh. I'll just hide this mesh. Select the mesh. Select, go to edit, and select only the nodes, the polygons that you need, right? So with the C, I can get this tool and I can select the breast. So with the vertices selected, and this one is extra, I don't need this one. Shift selected to get it. You can get like, was it Shift S? Yeah, Shift S and cursor to selected. This will put the cursor in a place where the average is the center. So here I have the center of everything that I have selected, which, I mean, it won't be a good place, I can tell from here. Like, I don't think it's gonna give me a good result. Maybe I do need to select this part to get a better result and less of the upper part, because it's making it go a little bit too up. So let's just select this here and remove the selection. I'm removing it with middle mouse and escape to remove the selection mode. And let's see what happens when I do Shift S and cursor to select it. Now it's in a little better position. But what I'm gonna do, I mean, I believe it will deform better if it's around here. Oops, I wanted to edit this. Okay. If it's around here. And this I will keep, like, at least this axis, like that one is fine. That one is better than the one that I have. So with this, just put it there so it's not poking anything. Maybe a little bit forward. There. There is our breastbone. If you wanted to get a little bit more conservative, like, you can put it even farther outside or backwards, like here, if you want all this part to move around. There is, yeah, there will be fine. And when you're done, right click, symmetrize, and the other bone should follow. So now I have the chest bones. Now, the thing about the chest bones is that I do need to put a parent to it, and I don't remember the parent of how it should be put. And let me put my cursor back to the word origin. Let me check that both of those bones are from the super copy, basic super copy type. So let's go to pose mode. Pose mode, select the bone. Here in the bone, this should be basic super copy, and this also should be basic super copy. Okay, it's fine, it's perfect. Now I don't remember to which one of the spines it was connected, so I'll just create another. I'm in the object mode, by the way. I'll create another human meta rig and scale it up and move it. And here I'll put edit, and you will see that this, the breast is with B lowercase, and it's the parent is spine 3 and it's not connected. Okay, so we can do that. Select the meta rig, rename this to the correct name, and they are both spine 3 and it's not connected. Let's remember that. Spine 3 not connected, and it messes with my. If I put here and symmetrize, does it work? Oh, it does, but the parent gets lost. Okay, so to avoid that, what I will do is click on this part of the bone, then Shift S to put my cursor to a selection. Was the other way around. Cursor to selected, and now we can fix it. Parent, spine 3. But now it's not gonna. Okay, it's fine. If it was connected, then I could have just put my bone again in the same place. So right click, symmetrize, and now this bone also should be connected. Well, should be parented while not being connected. Okay, so now we have the bones. Now we should be able to create the actual meta rig. Well, to create the actual rig, right? So let's just delete this one. The meta rig here, once we have, let me save everything just in case. Save. And here, add in the meta rig, generate the UEfy. So let's generate it and see if something pops out. Meta rig, generate the rig. I do need to select the meta rig. Now that that is selected, then generate rig. Okay, it was created, perfect. And now I do need to put all the meshes in this rig. So let's do that. Where is it? Extract mesh, and I will extract all the meshes. Here are all the meshes. And the torso. Now body, clothes, leather, metal. Okay. Yep. And why do I have the boots here? This shouldn't be here, so I'll separate it. I'll go to edit mode, select all this, and I do need to select it while being in X-ray. So we can select the back, we can delete the vertices, and then we are fine. Yep, select the body, clothes, leather, metal, bind it to the new rig, which is this one. Control P, armature deform, and let's select the rig here. Oh, I need to refresh rig and build the skeleton. Okay, something happened here. And I don't know if it's because I press Ctrl Alt H for everything, but let's see if it's working. Yeah, and it seems to be working. Seems to be fine. Now, we do have the bones here for the actual breasts, but we have not skinned them to the bones because the bones didn't exist before. I can do a quick, super quick skinning job just to get it working. So let's do that. Let's go to object mode and let's where can I? Okay, select the rig, select the I'll just hide that. Select the rig, select the mesh, and then let's go to weight paint. And here we will find that these bones are not getting anything. I can know which name they are. I mean, they won't appear here. This one has body spine FK, but I don't think that's the name actually. Breast L, I believe, should be the name. Let's see. If I paint some waist here, and I go back to object mode and then pose mode, does this moves? It doesn't. So it's not the bones that I need. I really don't remember the name. Vertex weight paint. Yeah, this is not influencing anything. Is it this bone? Yeah, it's this bone, the U breast L. This must be it. Okay, so let's just try to do a little weight skinning. Mirror vertex, topology mirror, multi-paint. Okay, so this right here should be all influenced by the bone, by this bone. Okay, so to check it, and here there is a lot of weird stuff, we just blur it. I mean, later on we can fix it. I just want to know if it's working or not. Let's go back to object mode and put this here. And in the pose mode, let's see if this works, because this controller actually moves around the bone. So yeah, now it is working. I mean, you really won't expect this type of deformation in your skeleton. Usually it will be minimal, like this much, and it will be mostly translation. So if this is looking semi correctly, then it's good enough. And this should also work for this one because we did the mirror. Okay, so it's really not that bad. I mean, I won't spend like that much time in this. I just wanted to show the process of adding new bones. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the torso. Then I do need to select everything and then apply, no, not apply, clear the transformation. Go to the object mode and then go to my clothes, because any movement I did there, it won't appear here actually, because those are different meshes. Now the way I fixed that was by simply, and we can do a test. Yeah, let me do a test just in case. Pose. If I move this, yeah, it's going out of the mesh. So you select the mesh where you want to copy from the weights, and select the mesh that you want to accept the new weights. And then you just go to weight paint and weights, transfer weights, all by name. And now it's getting the actual weights, nearest vertex. I mean, let's see what happens with that. So now let's go to pose mode by selecting my rig and by going here. Now it should be able to follow. I mean, it will break a little bit. I mean, this is something that later on with skinning we can fix. So we shouldn't worry too much about it right now. But I do need to have it in my project. So let's clear all the transform. Yeah. Hopefully, well, we will eventually fix all the skinning issues, but the rig issues are the ones that we do need to get right at the start. So with this, we have the rig, the actual rig of the body, and we can put it in Unreal. Yeah, and this is behaving correctly. So let's see if I made a mistake somewhere, and I will need to cry eventually. Okay, so I will save it as this one, because we need to select the rig and select the option for Unreal 4 default UA mannequin roles, and from here we can select all the meshes. Let's see, all the meshes, yes, and select the rig. File, export, FBX, select selected objects, transformation is fine, face in smoothing, so we don't get the missing smoothing groups, only deform bones in armature, and no animation needed. And here I will call it upper body. And export. That's it. Let's go back to Unreal. Let's go back to our meshes folder. And I didn't save this, so I should save it. Right click, import. And here I will put Calypso upper body. Open. The skeleton, because we have added 2 new bones, we cannot use the mannequin skeleton that we already used here. We can't. We need to, for this mesh to generate its own skeleton, and we will see why. Let's just import it with no skeleton selected. Import. And we have it right here. Let's save it. And here is my mesh with these two new bones added. Right? So let's first put the materials. Leather. No, that's metal. Yeah. Highlight. This one is leather. This one is clothes. And this one is the skin. The body. There it is. So now we have the correct materials. Now with this, what I would need to do is use it, which here I need to add a new mesh, add skeletal mesh, and it's already selected, Calypso upper body, because I had it here. So I'll just call it upper body. And put it on top. No, no, not again. I'll just leave it there. And let me just return the actual rotation and location. Okay, so the way we are handling the hair and the head is all here in the construction script. We're just making it follow the mesh. If we did that with the upper body, it works. Why does it work? Because it has the same bone structure. So even though we have extra bones, we still don't. How can I say it? Okay, so even though we have extra bones, because the structure is similar, this node called leader pose component can still find the same information in the base mesh. So that's why it can still follow the actual animation. Now, if we wanted some jiggle physics, then well, we would need to add. There's already a tutorial for that, but we can go over it like super quick because how long have I been streaming actually? Where is the timer? Oh, 1 hour and 40 minutes. I always try to do quick streams, but always end up with long streams. Okay, 20 minutes, we can do the jiggle physics. And I can rig the code later on, because that is very boring. You just need to match the actual bones, then generate the rig and then export it again. It's the same stuff that we did. It's like we did with the breasts, the bones. Yeah, you added a new bone. Yeah, exactly like that, but for a lot more bones, so it's not that fun to watch. Okay, so let's do the jiggling motion. Okay, so if you remember correctly from the other tutorial, we needed to get the skeletal, the physics body. And here we can just ignore the other parts, really. We just need, like, we can delete everything. I mean, if you do need it later on, you can add it back again. You can select the bone and then generate the body. So for this, it's a good idea that this first bone matches. And I remember there was a way of attaching it, or well, putting it in the location of the, I believe it was here, primitive, capsules, index, center. You put it back to the main location. Oh, and this is the spine one. Yeah, I don't need actually the spine one. I want to here show the bones. Go to the spine 3. And here you can add body. And now we have a body in the spine 3 that it added it to the best of its abilities. But here we can actually reset it to the center and reset the rotation to actually do some tweaking ourselves. So here I'll increase this and move it a little bit to the back. Yeah, something like that. I mean, this is just the base, so the actual chest has an anchor to something. Okay, so now we need to go to the clavicle. No, where is my bone? It's not the clavicle, it's not this one. Here, U breast, L and R. Breast R, breast L. You add a body. Here I don't need a capsule, it's fine with a sphere. Add the bodies. Here you have it. Right now, if I just simulate this, simulate selected, it's not exactly what you want. So let's select the constraint. And here in the constraint, ball and socket, let's start with a constraint skeletal and see what happens now. Still, I don't need this much rotation actually. The angular limits, let's just put everything locked. With 5 is enough, I believe. Yeah, maybe 10. Long time I haven't done this. With this one, 5 and 5 should be fine. Yeah, okay, so now we need to add a motor to return to the starting location. So now, with my constraint selected, so the motor is not strong enough. Just start with a big number and then we can go and divide stuff. Yeah, too big of a number. Divide by half. Still too big of a number. Divide by half. Nothing is happening here. It's pretty much divide and conquer. Now here it takes a little bit more to return to the place. I will leave it like that because I do need to add some linear limits. For example, in C, is for everything. If I put 20, 20, not 2020, then this happens. So maybe 5 should be enough. 5 is too much, definitely too much. 1, 0.5. And after adding this, which should be for everything because you want all type of motions, we need to add the linear motor also. So again, we start with a big number, maybe 5,000 was the match. Yeah, so if you're getting this, then it's maybe not that big of a number. So let's try 500. Yeah, so that makes it go back into place very far, very fast. Yeah, so to avoid the jittering, we can increase some damping values. Where were them? I'll just put it as a soft constraint, and now it's not jittering because it's not like, because it's a soft constraint, it can go below the value without trying to coming back immediately to the actual value. So with this, we can just right click and mirror, and then this should work exactly the same. Okay, so that's it. We have the physical asset, the physics asset correctly set up. Oh, I forgot about something. These two should be physics type. Oh, was it simulated or kinematic? Let me remember with the code that I added. Code. Calypso code. Physics asset. This one is... Oh, I leave this at default. And the constraints. Okay. Yeah, so the way the tutorial, the actual tutorial that I did, I used to just put this to simulate it, I believe, and save it. And then here, when I let's compile, when I added them, you won't be able to see it here. I need to put it in the actual map, which I'll create a very simple basic map. And let's put our blueprint there. Let me just get rid of that message. Pesky message. Game mode. Okay. I mean, is it there? I mean, it's very subtle, but it's because of the type of clothes that this character is actually wearing. So to make it not so subtle, I'll put this limit to maybe 4. Come on. Ah, and it didn't matter that the limit was at 4. I'll remove the linear motor in X. Yeah, just so I know that it's working. Okay, so save it. And okay, so it's not working. And it may be because we are following the actual set leader pose here. But the way that this stuff it's more cleanly solved is if I actually don't use this and I create a animation blueprint for this mesh. So here, create animation blueprint, let's just call it, yeah, let's keep the name just so these files are near each other. And here, if I go to my blueprint and I see the viewport, you will see that the chest no longer follows the movement. So here, copy pose from mesh. If I connect it like this, then I can see that it changed. Oh, I do need to actually put the skeletal mesh animation blueprint. Upper body. Compile. And it's not doing anything. Great. Oh, animation blueprint, where is it? This copy pose from mesh should use the attach parent. This is not mandatory, but if you have curves or custom attributes, it will be a good idea to just have it in case. Now it's following the actual blueprint, and here we can add the rigid body, connect it like this. Nodes will be auto generated, and here, if I remember correctly, which I don't, so this part also is detailed in this building modular character scenario. I mean, it's used for a backpack or a coat, but you can use it for any type of physical asset, of physics asset. In the code, oh, what's this? This is not the code that is working, right? It's a test code. Yes, of course it's a test code. Rigid body, and the values that were added were this one, 0.5. So let's just do that. Let's compile and save. And now you can see that the actual rigid body is working, which looks very, very weird. I mean, it's an old person type of jiggle physics, but this character is too young for that. So let's go back to the physics. And again, the physics here is, you can tweak it to however you liked. I'll enable this. Hopefully this doesn't crashes the engine. Ooh, compile. Now it's moving a lot more, but I mean, the values, the conservative values that I was using before, they are fine. It was 0.8. At least they were fine for me. Later on, you will see that maybe this changes, but we will see. Yeah, so now it has some jiggle physics. I mean, was there a way to change? Yeah, so that same procedure is what I'm using for the code. But the only thing that differs, if you can see here, no, this is not the correct code, I believe. No, this is not the correct code. This one is. No. Nope. Nope. Animation blueprint. This is not it. Not it, not it, not it. This one. This is the code that I use. You will see that we have the actual bones for everything, even though we don't have a mesh, but we do need them, so the naming is exactly the same. So with that, we enable the physics here also. Yeah, and we should, well, I should like make it so it can't stretch that much, otherwise the mesh kind of breaks. But yeah, I mean, the same logic. And it's been a long time that I have read the chat, so let me see. This is what I want to do with closing. I read that. Maybe not fun, but to watch. But it's great for very new people to go over a number of times. Helps their learning. Simulated, I believe. Yes, it was simulated. Or, I mean, I could leave it. I believe I can leave it in default, and it will still work. And this approach has avoided the issue of sometimes the simulated assets like getting stuck behind, that I have seen in a lot of comments that used to happen to me. Not anymore with this approach. So maybe that tutorial needs a... Well, I just did it, so yeah, I can refer to this part and it should be fine. Yeah, let me check here if in the... Nope, this is the animation blueprint. Nope, this is the skeletal mesh here. If you just leave this in at default, because with simulated bones it was happening that sometimes your simulated bone stay behind for some reason. I don't know why, but that started happening since Unreal 5. And I need to check again if it's working or not. Let's put 3 and let's remove the target. Well, I guess they do need to be simulated. Where was it? Simulated. Save. Compile. Yeah, they do need to be simulated, otherwise they don't work. Quick test again. Compile. Yeah, if they're not simulated, it's not taking them into account. So let's put them simulated and let's return the values to what they were. There you go, and maybe half this. Yeah, a little bit more realistic. And here it shows that the skinning is breaking a little bit, so that needs to be corrected. But it's a lot easier because we can go back to the to Blender, fix the skinning, and we know the rig works, right? So yeah, that will be it for this stream. I have added at least the upper body and the lower body here. So for now, if there's not a question, then we can wrap up. Oh, and this, it's very useful just as a last tip, because you will want to preview these type of animations, right? And like, oh, just having half the body doesn't do justice. You can create a collection, and here in skeletal meshes we can add the upper body. Although I don't think it will work. Oh, but it does! Yeah, okay, I didn't think it would work because of the bones that we added, but here we can kind of recreate the character. The other alternative is to export it completely, like I did before. So you at least get some reference on how the action will happen, right? But yeah, didn't know you could put it like this. Perfect. Actually, perfect. What is this? Animation blueprint. Oh, so with this, you could actually put our animations with the physics that we add, right? Is this true? Where's my code? That was the code. Don't remember. I know I have two codes. Yeah, it's this one. And is it this one? Nope, it's not that one. It's this one. Okay, didn't work for the code. Or was it this one? No, it didn't work with the code, but I mean, I was asking too much of the engine. Maybe if I apply it to us, but okay. It's good enough for me that I can see the body, which is the main part. The code will need to adjust depending on the actual character. So here, so you don't need to redo this setting again, you can just save it. And here, Calypso preview mesh collection, we can just put it as preview mesh collection Calypso. Okay, so let's read the final steps. When I do that, did you mirror the changes? Mirror third time, Lucky? Yes, I mirrored the changes in the skeletal, in the physics assets. Here. Like, just left click it, right click and mirror, should be fine. Hi, in the end I solved my problem by using a code line inside the engine. The physics engine in my project only works when the capsule components are very small. Weird. But it's glad that you fixed it. Hey bro, how are you doing? Doing fine. Just wrapping up the stream. Need to take a walk after being seated a long time. How long it take to learn Unreal completely? Even I have not learned Unreal completely, and I've been using Unreal since Unreal 3, which is UDK, Unreal Development Kit. Why? Because they are always adding stuff, especially in technology. You're always learning. You can't be like done with this stuff. Like, there will be always new ways to do the same thing but better, or new things to do. So yeah. And that's why usually whenever, I like programming, you spend more time on that than on anything else. Or, I like creating characters, or I like making materials, or I like designing levels. It's like, it's good to have something that you're very good at, but still have the ability to learn little things or basic stuff from other disciplines. Like, for sure, for me, it's very helpful to know how to use the modeling tools, add some shapes, modify them. Very useful. I mean, enough to make a good game. It depends on the definition of a good game, which is also hard to define what exactly makes a good game. But I mean, learning basic blueprints programming can take you a long way with making a game. Making it good, it's just about the polishing. I mean, if your character walks, but the walking feels too stiff, then I mean, it's a game, but it's not exactly a good game. And it doesn't mean that you're programming it wrong. It's just maybe you need to tweak the values so it feels better. So yeah, game design and game tweaking also is another type of a skill and ability that you would need to have and to develop, right? But I would start with making small games. We have some tutorials about making small games because it's like a little tour of all the engine abilities and all the engine useful stuff that maybe you won't be a lighting environment artist, but at least you know how to add lights, right? So it can be useful. Which is better, Blueprint or C++? I mean, I like C++ a lot better, but Blueprint is very useful. So you need to use both in harmony. Like, there are a lot of stuff that can be done pretty quickly, especially when you're prototyping a game with blueprints. And C++ can take you a long way whenever you're doing something more specific, something some optimization in some classes, some connection to a third-party library, stuff like that. I mean, usually I will make a base in C++ and blueprints will inherit from that, so artists can use that classes without any fear, right? They can break them, they can change them, and because it's in C++, I know that the logic is not broken. But when I'm prototyping, I only use Blueprint. And that's why in most of the beginner tutorials, I won't teach C++. I mean, it's kind of overkill for a beginner to not only try to understand the logic inside Unreal, but also try to learn a new programming language, which is C++. Is not exactly the easiest language to learn. Where can we find a beautiful red-haired girl? Is it only belong to Unforgiven, to UNF Games? Yes, it's only belonging to us, UNF Games. It's because we're going to use it in the game. Like, that's why we are not giving it. That's why it's also not a marketplace asset for UNF Games. I mean, for sure we could sell it at a good price, but it would lose the uniqueness of it. Let me give you idea. You know about Stronghold Crusader? I have an idea, same kind of game, but I don't know much. I'm concept artist, just started in Real 2 months ago. Usually when you have good ideas, it's a good habit to try and write them down. You don't need to go into too much detail. It's fine with just with having it wrote down. because later on you can remember, oh, I remember I had a good idea, I didn't have the skills, but now I do, so let's do it. And then you usually with those kinds of ideas, or my kinds of ideas, when I go back to it, it's like, oh, for sure I can do it, or it's not good enough for now. But I mean, it's good to have a lot of ideas, try to refine them, try to practice some of the game designer type of skills and abilities. Oh, here is breaking also the skinning. There is a cute girl on the marketplace, necromancer from UNF. Oh no, this is not the cute girl. It's similar, kind of, but it is not. It's not. It's not the body also, because the cute girl has like bigger hips. In the UNF website, you guys also teach C++ base game and how to mix C++ and blueprints properly? No, not yet. I mean, I have been trying to develop a little course on it. Not course, just a free tutorial. So more people can start using C++, but no, not yet. I have not done a tutorial on it. I worked on C#, but it's been a while. I left coding. It's just wiped out suddenly. Don't worry. As long as the logic still remains with you. I mean, if you have never programmed something before or used some kind of a scripting language, then it can be a little bit more difficult to start. For example, if you do this, then the door will open. Like, what happens if you don't do it? Like, the branch of the logic. The beginners at the start usually get lost when you're trying to structure a logical flow of actions, right? So it's very useful to create flowcharts, which I had some here. Flowcharts. Stuff like this is how the combats in the turns in our game work. Like, oh, what happens at the start? What triggers everything here? Well, the combat needs to start. Then we prepare for the round, we refresh some units, update the turns, see if we have pieces or units to play with, and then start doing like the logical flow of the combat. And here the end combat ends, and I mean, usually you start with this type of charts, like in a piece of paper. You write, oh, what do I want to do? Oh, press the button, what happens? If you press it, the door opens. If you don't press it, oh, nothing happens. Or you need a key for the door to open. The initial point will be touching the door. You have the key, yes, the door open. You don't have the key, maybe a message could appear that, oh, you need the key to open the door. So stuff like that. Once you have that down, then programming it is a lot easier. This Q&A is so useful. Oh, glad that you found it useful. That's why we're here. Yeah. The cute girl and this girl seems like Korean idol, good quality. Well, the artists that both artists, or it's the same, I believe it's the same one. Both are the artists that we paid to make the actual model is Korean, so yeah, we knew what we were getting, for sure. It's like, oh, it's the Korean style, looks pretty nice, go ahead, do it. We just gave him like a concept art. I couldn't find it. Art station Calypso. Calypso. Oh, no, it's not this one. Calypso. Here's the concept art. Korean guy. And we gave this to the 3D modeler. And he did his magic. And we finally, after all this time, look, it was last year. Finally, it's rigged. Finally, it's skinned. The skinning needs work, but there are a lot of pieces that we need to improve. But at least finally, it's in the game. So yeah. UMBR division is best channel so far, I found. Thanks for your tutorials, man. Oh, we will keep making those. Leave a comment if you have a topic in mind. I mean, if we can do it, we probably will do it eventually. That's why most of the times I prefer to use select instead of branches while using flowcharts. Well, whatever works for you. I mean, it's fine, it's your logic. So that works for him, I see. Okay, so this is the wrap up. Thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for watching. Thanks for posting questions and answering, making the stream more fun and entertaining. So, take care. Good to see you. And we'll see you in the next work stream, probably. Take care. Oh, and tutorial for AI. For sure it will come. Mass AI, maybe later on. I mean, we're still like in beginner stuff. So, again, take care, and we'll see you next time.